Good afternoon, welcome to VANIK-IAS. We will discuss current affairs of 30th July and first we will discuss objective questions. Consider the following statements about Prevention of Money Laundering Act, PMLA Act. Why it is news? Because now there is huge cases of misuse of Money Laundering Act, and also Sonia Gandhi and other political leaders, they are interrogated by the Enforcement Directorate, right? So it was enacted in January 2003, and the act along with the rules framed hereunder comes into force with effect from 1st July 2005. The Parliament enacted PMLA Act as a result of international commitment to strongly deal with the menace of money laundering and proceeds of a crime having transnational consequences and the financial system of the countries. It envisages the designation of one and more courts or sessions as special court or special courts to try the offences under punishable under PMLA. See, money laundering, here all the statements are correct. 1, 2, 3, all the statements are correct regarding what is Prevention of Money Laundering Act. See, money laundering is basically money laundering and tax evasion. They account more than 90% of corruption, right? So that's why the rules are stringent with respect to money laundering. That is making it is one type of illegal money received from foreign countries. So all the options are right here. Next, consider the following statements regarding Election Commission of India. Election Commission Article 324, Election Commission of India Article 324 to Article 329. It is Election Commission of India, independent body. Article 324 says that the election to state legislature, central legislature and president and vice president will be conducted by Election Commission of India. So which of the following statements are correct? Election Commission of India is an autonomous constitutional body. Yes, it is a autonomous constitutional body, right? It is mentioned in Constitution under Article 324 for administering union and state election processes in India. Yes, administering union and state election processes in India. But the local body election is conducted by the State Election Commission. Remember, State Election Commission is not a subordinate part of Election Commission of India. Both are two different institutions, right? So it is a constitutional body and it is an autonomous body. Why it is autonomous body? Because they are independent, right? Central government, once appointment of Election Commission, cannot take any stringent action against the Election commissioners, right? That's why it is an independent body. Election Commission was established under accordance with the Constitution 25th January 1950. Yes, with the Constitution on 25th January 1950 it was established. So both those statements are right regarding Election Commission of India. Then consider the following statements with regarding to Enforcement Directorate, right? Enforcement Directorate. The Directorate of Enforcement is a law enforcement agency and economic intelligence agency responsible for enforcing economic laws. Economic laws means if there is any financial corruption, if there is any black money, if there is any money laundering, these are economic corruption. Fighting economic crime in India, that is the responsibility of Enforcement Directorate, right? It is under Ministry of Home Affairs. Yes, it is under Ministry of Home Affairs. It comes under the Ministry of Home Affairs, right? Next, prime objective of the Enforcement Directorate is the enforcement of two keys Act of Government of India, namely Foreign Exchange Management Act, that is FEMA Act, and Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Prevention of Money Laundering Act, that is 2002. That means by these two acts, especially those people who are involved in such type of economic crimes, they receive money from foreign countries, right? So here both the statements are all the statements are correct. D is the answer regarding Enforcement Directorate. Then consider the following statements regarding National Family Health Survey 5. National Family Health Survey. In India, number of stunted and underweight children over 5 years has reduced. Yes, obviously by common sense we can say that the number of stunted and underweight children, because the government has launched various programs like Poshan Abhijan, ICDS, Integrated Child Development Services, right? Poshan Abhijan, nutrition program. And there is also various maternity schemes, that is Pradhan Mantri Matritva Yojana, that is providing cash transfers to pregnant women. So because of all these efforts of state government, there are various also state government schemes in every states regarding women and child. So the combined effect we can say that it has reduced. Obviously it will reduce gradually. What is the mean stunted? Stunted means the height of a particular children. Stunted means if a children we call stunted means the height should be less than it should be normal than the normal, right? Based on the age there should be a particular height. If somebody has less height, we can say because of malnutrition, that is we can call as it as stunted, right? Underweight means yes, if a child has less weight than it should be according to its age, that we can say as underweight children. Under 5 years, so it is under 5 years has reduced. Yes. Obviously it will reduce. So this statement is right. Just very common sense. Meghalaya has the highest number of stunted children, followed by Bihar. Yes, this is also right. And Bihar has the highest number of underweight children. All the statements are correct regarding Bihar has highest number of underweight children. Next. Which of the following are about Swachh Sagar and Surakshit Sagar? Swachh Sagar and Surakshit Sagar, it is 75 long coastal cleanup. See, Swachh Sagar, you can just Surakshit Sagar and Surakshit Sagar. Obviously, it is related to Swachh Bharat Abhiyan and also related to ocean. So, it is 75 days of long coastal cleanup campaign for cleaning at least 75 beaches along the Indian coast, right? Along the Indian coast, cleaning 75 beaches, right? Sea beach, that is cleaning, that is Swachh Sagar and Surakshit Sagar. It started in July 5, 2021 and will culminate on September 17, 2022 on International Coastal Cleanup Day. International Coastal Cleanup Day, which is on September 17. This year, this current affairs will be important. This day will be important. Usually, they do not ask day, but this will be important because government has started a new scheme, that is Swachh Sagar and Surakshit Sagar, especially for the cleaning of the sea beaches, right? And it started on July 5, 2022. So both the statements are correct regarding Swachh Sagar and Surakshit Sagar. It's part of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, right? Considering following statements regarding cryptojacking, right? You know that cryptocurrency is based on blockchain technology. It is a modern technology, highly used. It is volatile, having no central authority, right? The features of cryptocurrency is that there is no central authority. If anything happens to your currency, then there is nobody to listen. That's why you have a digital currency of India. And cryptocurrency is based on blockchain technology. It is highly secure. The transaction fees are very less. That's why the acceptance of cryptocurrency is very high. So, in this regard, what is cryptojacking? What is cryptojacking means? It is one type of malware attack. Remember, malware attack means any foreign entity that enters to your system and controls some functioning, that is we can call as malware attack, right? So this cryptojacking is one of the malware. It is a cyber attack wherein computing devices are hijacked and controlled by the attacker. It is controlled by the attacker to illicitly mine cryptocurrency. That is crypto hijacking, right? It always involves stealing money. See this, whenever you see the word always, then chances are they are wrong. Always in stealing money from the victim's cryptocurrency wallet. So this is wrong. Always, it's not like always. It causes damage to the computer victim's data. No, it has no such relation to victim's data. Especially when there are various types of malwares. For example, there is a worm. Especially the type malware worm that eats all the data, that damages all the data. That is called as worm. And that is spyware. Is one type of malware is spyware. Spyware, it do not delete your data, but it get access to all your data. Whatever you are doing, you are suppose calling someone, it will listen the recordings, or you are messaging someone, it will listen the recordings. So all these things are managed by that is spyware. For example, India has an example of Pegasus issue. We had Pegasus issue. Pegasus was in news. Pegasus it is a spyware created by Israeli NSO group, right? Indian government is alleged to use Pegasus software against some journalists and some cabinet minister and some important personal activists, right? And by monitoring their activities, whatever, and by this Pegasus spyware, It can enter your mobile at any time, it can go from your mobile at any time, you will not have any information with respect to it. So like Pegasus software, it may also send your mail from your account. It can also read all your messages, it can also read all your transaction and phone recordings. It can open your camera also, it can listen all the recordings, everything it can do, right? But you will have no idea. That is we call as spyware, right? Spying your data. Worm will kill your data, right? And virus, that will stop the functioning of your mobile, that is called as virus. It will stop functioning of the system, it will completely damage your system, that is called as virus. These are different types of malwares. So crypto hijacking is one type of malware, right? And so it does not cause damages to victim data. Victim data is caused by worm. So only one of statement is the correct answer. And consider the following statements regarding India International Bullion Exchange. See, India International Bullion Exchange, right? It is India's first bullion exchange. Yes, right. The jewelers eligible to import gold through IBX, right? Bullion exchange means this import of gold, are notified by the International Financial Services Centers Authority. Yes, this is right. Notified by Centers Authority, they are eligible to import gold. Then bullion exchange. Only Indian citizens can participate. See, this is international bullion exchange. How can only Indian citizens participate? So this statement is wrong. So only 1 and 2 options are right regarding Indian International Bullion Exchange. Next. Consider the following statement with respect to Family Planning Vision 2030. Family Planning Vision 2030. The teen-age child bearers has increased over the past decade. Teen-age child bearers has increased over the past decade. Obviously, this is wrong by common sense, right? Because sexual awareness is increasing and there is also contraceptives are available everywhere. So there is awareness among the people also. There is ample amount of information regarding internet. So in such a situation, we can just by common sense we can say that the teenage child bearers, it has not increased because sexual awareness has increased, and also there is sex education in various schools and colleges, and also there is increase of contraceptives available everywhere. So teenage child bearers has not increased. India has witnessed an impressive improvement in contraceptive use over the past decade. Impressive improvement, yes, impressive improvement even in rural areas. There is a contraceptive use has been increased over the past decade. So second statement is right. Yes. Consider the following statements. The World Trade Organization has led trade flows is partially meant for the least developed economies. Has led aid. The WTO led aid for trade flows is partially meant for the least developed economies. India has received the highest aid for trade in 2020 from the developed countries. Yes, so both the statements are right. Next we will discuss prelims facts. Irrational freebies. What do you mean by irrational freebies? Various government have been, for vote bank politics, is offering various goods to the public, right? Is it justified? It is in certain cases it is justified, in certain cases it is not justified. Only for vote bank politics, many government have been providing all these things. For example, one is providing free electricity to the farmers. When you provide free electricity to all the farmers, many rich farmers having crores of monies whose incomes are in crores, they are also enjoying free electricity, and that tax is given by the common man who is just by there are many middle class and poor are also paying taxes by indirect taxes. That should not be used by the rich. That will be regressive taxation. Progressive taxation means as the income increases, then tax increases. So it is one type of freebies, and many times there is in case of, for example, whenever there is election comes, in many states there is declaration of loan waiver, right? Loan waiver. So those people who have paid the loan genuinely, now they suffer, they think That is what we call as moral hazard. That means if you are doing something right and then you regret, that is called as moral hazard. It is seen, it has become a trend in Indian politics. In also, we have seen the pan-India loan waiver during UPA 2 government. Pan-India loan waiver, whole India loan waiver, there is loan waiver in whole India. So rather than developing long-term infrastructure for irrigation, and that money could have been used for long-term infrastructure for irrigation, and that can be used for capital capital expenditure. We have two types of expenditure, that is one is revenue expenditure and second is capital expenditure. The difference between capital expenditure means what creates assets, right? Capital expenditure means what creates assets. For example, making irrigation project, that is creates asset. Making road project, that creates asset. It has returns. But in case of revenue expenditure, there is no return. If you are purchasing a bike, then it is a capital expenditure. But if you are purchasing fuel, that is a revenue expenditure. So capital expenditure should be more and more rather than the revenue expenditure. Any government who is making more and more revenue expenditure as compared to capital expenditure, that is populist government, right? The problem with Indian politics is that populist governments, they get more votes as compared to those governments who are not given directly to the government, to the citizens. So that's why that is in trend. Many state governments are becoming populist. They become populist for power, so which is a threat to economy, because we have already seen the similar consequences in case of Sri Lanka, right? Various factors like this populism has led to economic crisis in case of Sri Lanka. So in future we should not, so that how we should not fall into that trap of populism, because it's one government promises in their manifesto severe populism, obviously people will vote them, right? So all these things, the things should be given to the rationalization. These subsidies should be rationalized. Rationalized means those who are really deserving, they should get the subsidy. For example, railway ticket, everybody is enjoying railway ticket, right? Railway ticket, around 55% of money, 45% is contributed by the central government, even your railway ticket at present time. So this what happens, the growth of railway that becomes stagnant. Either you will enjoy that money for creation of assets, or you will get that in tickets. So just because a huge amount of subsidy, every year 35,000 crore subsidy is given by the railway only to the railway tickets. So that huge amount of money, 35,000 crore, it could have been invested in infrastructure, and infrastructure has always long-term returns. What you give in in many elections also, many political parties, they give you laptops, sarees which are of no use, right? These are just to get populist and votes. So in this regard, Supreme Court bench said that it will see to what extent it can or cannot intervene to stop political parties from distributing irrational freebies. There is some petition in Supreme Court regarding irrational freebies, because ultimately it is a trap. It is one type of trap, right? So one state government is saying that I will give this much free, this much free, this much free. Another state government will do the same thing, right? So for example, rather than giving free tickets to a particular section of society, we can develop the road infrastructure. With the same money, we can develop the road infrastructure, or we can purchase public vehicles. In India, in major cities, the biggest problem is public vehicles. They are overcrowded, so and there is environmental pollution is severe. So our priority should be developing those things. Rather than giving free electricity, we have to ensure that free electricity is 24/7, or making underground electricity, right? In many areas electricity is not that much available. So all these things, our quality of water availability of our quality of water is poor. So rather than giving free water, we should consider that the water should be better quality, that quality in the norms, in its quality. So all these things that can be better, that can be done better, right? So environmental purposes, rather than giving free tickets, we can purchase buses and we can develop plantations so that we can reduce the environmental pollution. So these are, we can call as, if state is spending in those things, then that is we can call as irrational freebies. That means in a welfare state. See, another thing, In a welfare state, it's not that all if it's not that everything you should be spend on capital expenditure. In certain section of people, even they are poor, only poorer should be given direct benefit transfer. In case of that is the best way. If by PDS system, for example, a certain amount of money should go to their account so that they can have a minimum lifestyle, that is direct benefit transfer, right, to only the poorest section of society, the bottom 20 of the society, because it is a welfare state and we have to take care of the masses. But that will be better, right, rather than free tickets. If somebody is investing huge amount of money in environment, that will be the best thing we can invest, right. But we see such trends in some present Indian politics. That's why it is in news, and that's why the Supreme Court has taken the cases and it has said that I will look into the matter. The Supreme Court has issued notice to Central Election Commission of India on the plea against freebies offered by the state parties. Freebies offered by the state parties, right? Okay. The Standpoint Election Commission of India, EC said that it has no power to regulate the same and take action against parties asking such poll promises, right? Asking such poll promises. Odisha government has when started this Kalia scheme. Kalia scheme is good because it has not promised loan waiver, right? If you really think about the agriculture or farmers, then you should give low interest loan, or you should give them long term loan, low interest loan, and develop their irrigation with the same money, right? So rather than giving, obviously the central government policies should be like that. Rather than giving subsidies in the tickets, it should develop in railway infrastructure. But what happens? There is something political compulsions. When we decrease the subsidies, there is mass anger, and the political parties suffer its political loss. That's why there is a, for example, we have left out the subsidies that is given in case of petrol. See, in case of petrol also, the person who is enjoying, who is riding Mercedes, he was getting a subsidy of around 3,000 per month. And the person who is riding a bike, he was getting 500 rupees per month of subsidy if you just 50 liter. So the person who is rich, they are enjoying more subsidies as compared to the person who are poor. This is a regressive taxation. That's why we should stay away from this freebies, right? That's why government. But there is always a mass anger against such type of although they are rational, there is mass anger erupts. That's why central government gradually is going away from this type of subsidy. Election Commission said it has no power to regulate all these things because it is not vested with him. According to the Representation of People's Act, there is nothing mentioned in that, but it is a present trend that is developing, especially that it has become serious after the Sri Lankan crisis. Election Commission of India stated that offering freebies before and after election is a policy decision by the political parties. Obviously, it is a policy decision by the political parties. So, Election Commission do not have the power with respect to political societies. The agenda of a political party, the Election Commission do not have the power. It has only power to control the free election, right? Free and fair election. That is the responsibility of Election Commission of India. Financial viability of these policies and their adverse effect on the economic health of the state is a question that has to be considered and decided by the voters. So it has to be considered by decided by the voters. It has said by Election Commission of India. The problem with India is that we voters are not that much awareness to judge whether a particular policy has the power to judge whether a particular policy is good or not, whether it is good for economy or not, right? For example, this deregulation of subsidy of deregulation of prices of petroleum, although that is one of the best thing that is recommended since 2004 by C. Rangarajan committee, and the government of India both during UPA term and in NDA term, that is they have deregulated it gradually. Still there is a huge anger against the government, although that is a rational thing, right? So voters cannot decide all the things because they lack awareness about the real economic policies, and we have a media that is highly partisan media that has become there is not neutral. They do not say both the positive and negative aspect of everything, right? So certain media are only talking about the positives, certain media are only talking about the negatives. So there is mass polarization. That is the issue. So there is information lag. For example, there is farm laws. All the farm laws, there is farm laws it is the biggest reform that is expected after 1991, after it is the only sector that has not enjoyed the private sector. In all other sector, in education, in health, in transport system, everywhere we are enjoying the private sector, the services of the private sector. Every sector has got reform except farm sector, and that is the most important sector of India, because around that will benefit around 70% of the population directly, but because of certain politics only. Yes, there is, because many of these regulations are already implemented in many states, and now they are politically opposing it. So, and those recommendations are based on Swaminathan committee, whom we believe as the best recommendation regarding the development of agriculture, right? Based on Swaminathan committee. So if you are not accepting the recommendation of Swaminathan committee regarding agriculture, then who will trust? And the same recommendation are earlier also given by those trade unions regarding the reforms. But when the reforms are done, the political parties and the trade unions, they opposed. So this is what we call this is the problem of democracy. This is one type of problem of democracy also. That is why in certain sections, if there is a question why China has more growth than as compared to India, because India is a democracy. I am not saying that democracy is bad, but this is one negative point of democracy, is that many times it becomes mobocracy, right? Many times it becomes a mobocracy. The voice of the even if there is voice of the opposition, voice of the people, and sometimes they are irrational, right? And that harms the progress of the nation. That's why government do not take any strong action against those, and populism increases. Election Commission of India also stated that cannot regulate state policies and decisions which may be taken the winning party when they form the government. State policies and decisions which may be taken by the winning party when they form the government. So when a particular government forms, that is responsibility of government to make their policies. Election Commission of India cannot make policies for a government. That is what Election Commission has said. The centre did not file any response in this matter. Next, action by Election Commission of India to avoid such scenarios. Model Code of Conduct guidelines have been framed by Election Commission of India after consultation with the recognized political parties. What are the Model Code of Conduct? The promises made in the manifestos are not enforceable under the election law. However, Election Commission of India had advised all the recognized political parties to submit a declaration along the copies with the manifestos, also to see that promises under therein are consonance with the Model Code of Conduct. That is, Election Commission of India is opinion that without enabling provisions of the law, deregistration of political parties will be an overreach of powers, right? Deregistration of political party. That means if a political party is not obeying such such type of laws, and if Election Commission take harsh step against them, then that will be overreach of powers, right? They should regulate it. They should not be master of political parties. What is this freebies? No such thing is freebies in economics, because ultimately somebody has to bear the cost of the supposedly free giveaways. Somebody has to bear the cost. Somebody is paying for that. If few people are enjoying, suppose for example air tickets, if you are enjoying subsidized air tickets, it's not free. If you are enjoying free subsidies in the railway tickets, it's not free. The person who is eating a biscuit, also they are paying for a railway tax for your ticket. So nothing is free in this world. Somebody is paying for that, and it's the masses who is paying for that. So all the masses are paying for the few who are going by railways. Enjoying the railway traffic, right? So that is what is the problem, right? Next, the concept of popularly known as there is no such thing as a free lunch. There is no such thing as a free lunch. The same money, the same tax, either you can use for the development or you can use for giving subsidies or direct benefit transfer. The meaning is that everything has to be paid by the taxes, if not today or tomorrow. If you are not paid by these things, if somebody is talking that I will give you free electricity, and obviously that is the tax of the government. Everybody is paying those taxes, and some people are enjoying the free electricity, and some people are enjoying the more free electricity. Those people who has more land, for example, free electricity in Punjab. I am giving an example. There is since long time there is free electricity in Punjab because of the agricultural state, and farmers they can enjoy free electricity. Now the problem is the person who has suppose 100 units of land, they are enjoying free electricity in those 100 units. They are earning in crores. but they are getting around 10 times than the small farmers. So the rich enjoy more as compared to the poor. So it has become irrational. That is why the cost is borne by everybody. So the rich are enjoying with the money of the poor. Next, it means that everything has to be paid. When governments dole out gifts, citizens have to pay for them. It's not always rich who pay. So it's not always rich who pay. It is the citizens who pay for that, right? And always few people enjoy that. Often the poor pay for the gifts, and as the governments collect taxes, everything on the matchbox to the diamonds. It affects the way people vote. But it affects the way people vote. Yes, that is why the populism is in there. Next, Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Recently, Supreme Court has upheld the core amendments to the Prevention of Money Laundering Act (PMLA). Supreme Court has upheld the right. Over 240 petitions have been filed against the amendments in which the challenging claim to violate personal liberty procedures law and constitution mandate. The verdict came under extensive challenge raised against the amendments introduced in 2002 Act, the Way of Finance Act. There are certain amendments are done and Supreme Court supported it. Right. Then what are the issues cited by court? The Act gives government, the enforcement director, virtually unbridled powers of summons, arrest and raids. Right. Enforcement directorate have virtually unbridled power. Now whether enforcement directorate is working properly or not, that is a big question. In the last 8 years, enforcement directorate has around made 3,000 raids. However, between 2004 and 2014, enforcement directorate has around 100 raids. So it is increased so many times, right? The money covered is also increased by 20 times. The election enforcement directorate has seized around 20 times than it has seized in the previous decade. That's why we can say that enforcement has become directorate. It is a very efficient organization regarding corruption. That is what government has said in parliament. It makes bail nearly impossible while shifting the burden of the proof on innocence to the accused rather than the prosecution. Yes, one issue is bail nearly impossible. If somebody is faced on money laundering or by enforcement directorate, bail is also nearly impossible. Court made it clear that state has no compelling interest in imposing stringent bail conditions to the economic offences. Stringent bail conditions should not be made for the economic offences. If somebody has done some economic offences, then take the money from it or punish it by some fines. Okay. Enforcement case information report. The court has said enforcement direction information report cannot be equated with an FIR. That supplying ECIR on every case to the person concerned is not mandatory. It is enough if ED at a time of arrest discloses the ground of arrest. Right? They should disclose the ground of the arrest. It is a fundamental right under Article 22. If you are arrested, you have the right to know on what ground you have become arrested. That is a fundamental right under Article 22. It is enough if ED just tell them the grounds of the arrest. About Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2022. It was enacted in January 2003 and the Act along with rules frames under has come into force with the effect from 2005. Right. The Parliament enacted PMLA as a result of international commitment to sternly deal with the menace of money laundering processes of a crime having transnational consequences. Because now there is transnational terrorism has been increasing. Transnational terrorism has been increasing and that is a threat to the whole world. That's why government is taking strong action against money laundering, because money is one of the biggest factor regarding terrorism. So objective, the PML Act seeks to combat money laundering in India and has three main objectives: to prevent and control money laundering, to confiscate, seize property obtained from money laundering, and to deal with any other issue enacted by the money laundering with India. The Act also proposes punishment under Section 4. Draft policy document for blue economy. What is blue economy? Blue economy for marine, that is marine economy. Ministry of Earth Sciences (MOES) has finalized national policy on blue economy for the country. What is blue economy? Your fishing, your trade, maritime trade, mercantile trade. Okay, we'll see. A draft policy on work for the India's blue economy has been prepared. The policy envisages optimal utilization of all sectors of marine domain, from living and non-living resources. For example, PMN, polymetallic nodules, non-living resources. There are huge type minerals are present in the bottom of the ocean, right? There is tourism also, there is factor of tourism, ocean energy. Ocean energy is also there. So what the document contains is the recommendation of the following dimensions: a national accounting framework for the blue economy for ocean governance. There should be accounting framework for ocean governance. Coastal, marine, spatial planning and tourism priority. Marine spatial planning, place-based planning and tourism priority. Then marine fisheries, aquaculture and fish processing. Marine fisheries, aquaculture and fish processing. Manufacturing, emerging industries, marine industries. For example, there is trade, there is technology, there is sports, there is, so all these are based on the oceans, right? Skill development, services, various services, transportation of various goods and services, logistic infrastructure and shipping. That is because in case of suppose 1 rupees is spent for your in road transport, hardly there 30 paise will be spent if you transport the same goods in the sea or oceans. So ocean transport is always cheaper than the road transport. Security, strategic dimension, international engagement, all these types, coastal mining, they are all included in the blue economy part. So it has highly comprehensive and touches every dimension. National Blue Economy Advisory Council has been proposed to set up. It will have secretaries of relevant ministries and departments and members, and include chief secretaries, principal secretaries on the coastal states, representatives from the industry. What is blue economy? According to World Bank, the blue economy is the sustainable use of ocean resources for economic growth, improved livelihoods, jobs, and preserving the health of the ocean ecosystem. Preserving the health of the ocean ecosystem, that means many times there is threat to ocean biodiversity. For example, oil spills, for example, bottom trawlings by the nets, that is that harms fisheries, that harms the marine biodiversity. There is also ocean acidification that causes ocean acidification causes the destruction of coral reefs, right? There is also some dead zone where there is a toxic zone where there is no oxygen for the biodiversity or the fishes to in the water, right? There is significant plastic pollution in the marine biodiversity, and unsustainable resource mining also that may be possible after few years, because there is high railway traffic. The traffic is very high. For example, in case of for example, the transportation is increasing day by day, and also the there is various wastes that are present in the ocean surface, that is increasing. And also in future we will see that there is heavy mining of ocean resources, that is polymetallic nodules, which there is huge amount of minerals, right? That is the definition according to World Bank. Next, European Commission defines it as all economic activities related to ocean, seas and coast. All economic activities, that may be trade, that may be fishery, that may be excavation of minerals. Next, significance of India's blue economy. India's blue economy, it is a subset of national economy comprising the entire ocean resources system, human-made ocean economic infrastructure in marine, maritime, onshore, coastal zones with the country's legal jurisdiction. It is a subset of national economy comprising the entire ocean resources system and human-made economic infrastructure, that may be your boats, right, ships, maritimes and onshore coastal zones within countries' legal jurisdiction. Within countries' legal jurisdiction means or exclusive economic zone, right, within 200 nautical miles, and we have within 12 nautical miles we can, that is our territorial water. Coastal states and island, around 7,500 kilometers, India has unique maritime position. India has, that is, yes, remember this maritime position is most significant in so far as international politics is concerned, because of the position of the India in the over the Indian Ocean. That's why it makes India important in the world politics. That's why USA is developing relationship with India, right? And the region is called as Indo-Pacific region of the Indian Ocean and Pacific region. That is the most important region, crucial region or strategic region at modern times. The ports and exclusive economic zone, nearly 199 ports, and 12 major ports, 199 ports and 12 major ports that handle approximately 1400 million ton cargo each year, 1400 million ton of goods every year. Every year 1400 million tons are handled by 199 ports and including 12 major ports. Besides, India's exclusive economic zone over 2 million square kilometer. We have exclusive economic zone of 2 million square kilometer has a bounty of living and non-living resources with significant recoverable resources such as crude oil and natural gas. In Bombay, you have crude oil, there is natural gas also, there is polymetal nodules, there is a huge area that is 2 million square kilometer area in ocean resources where there are many resources are present. Coastal settlements. The coastal economy sustains over 4 million of fisher folk and coastal community. 4 million means, right, around 40 lakh people, they live because of by fishery, just by fishery. That is one type of crucial food, right. So next, see the question you have to write today. Explain the evolution of collegium system. It's about judiciary. Collegium system for the appointment of transfer of judges in India. Right? You must mention the first judge's case, second judge's case, and third judge's case with respect to collegium system. How collegium system is divided? What is this collegium system? Why it is in criticism? Because there is lack of transparency and accountability in the appointment of judges. It is the Chief Justice of India and the 4 other judges. Without it is their discretion whom to appoint new judges. That's why that's the issue. And write what is collegium system and what is evolution of collegium system and what are the criticism and what are the suggestion or way forward. Write this question and remember, write most of criticism, that is there is no transparency in the judicial appointments, right. Nobody knows on what criteria they are selected, on what criteria they are recommended by the Chief Justice of India or the collegium system, right. It is, and what is the judicial appointment, how NJSC, there is a bill, NJSC bill that was brought by the Parliament regarding judicial appointment, what Supreme Court has declared it null and void under Article 13, that saying that it is violation of the independence of judiciary, right. So this is collegium system. It is in news because there is various criticism of Supreme Court judgments. This recently over in case of Nupur Sharma case, and Chief Justice has also given statements with respect to it, right. So like this video and share this video and subscribe to VANIK-IAS. Thank you.